Welcome, Memphis J Motivationals, and I'm your host, Memphis J. Glad to be with you today. So today's talk is going to be a lecture. So if you're listening on your phone, listening on a laptop or computer, while dotting around, it might be something that you might want to put in the background and listen to. So welcome to the Memphis J Motivational channel. What we do here is we look at life and all the different aspects and try to empower you and help you to do better and help you to take on life's everyday challenges. We trying to equip you with the skills that you would need in your everyday life. And I'm your host, Memphis J, and we are live. You can go back and watch all of the previous episodes, and you can see the trajectory and the projection and where we're headed. Okay, so for those of you who are new to this channel, I'm a expert life coach, linguist, and also lay psychologist, and all of this stuff has been it's developed inspired by experiences and by listening to mentors and elaborate and extensive uh academic rigorous study. Right, okay, so today I'm going to be teaching you how you can communicate like an angel and how not to respond as a human. So I've chosen this allegory of an angel to bring this talk about communication, because we can all agree that angels are out of this world. People say touch me an angel. So I think that's we can collectively agree that angels are more divine. So I thought, what better way to show an example, a good example of good communication by using the allegory of an angel. Okay, and I would also describe how to respond to communication effectively and how not to respond by showing you two different examples. Okay, and you'll see the outcomes and the consequences of the different types of communication, and how it all worked out for the different parties. Okay, so this is a story, and it's an allegory. Okay, and hope you can follow the storyline as I'm about to share. So, an angel visited two people, a man and a woman. The same angel visited these two people. Okay, the characters. Right. So, the first person the angel visited was a man. And when the angel turned up, the man was quite surprised and startled, as I guess you would be if an angel walked in. We all have this fantasy of meeting an angel, but I think it might be quite a startling, scary experience if you actually met one in real life. I cannot confirm or deny if I've met one. I would leave that for a story for another day. But the angel basically arrived. He was startled and he said, "Do not be afraid." This is the angel speaking now. Quote, um, I have come because your request has been heard by the gods, and I have brought you an answer to your request. And this is what is going to happen to your family, to you and your wife, and it's going to be great, and everyone will be happy. And what's going to happen is going to be so spectacular. It's going to be beyond your wildest dreams. And it was basically telling him that you're going to have a child, and he was really old, like 90 or whatever, and his wife was really old as well. Okay, but remember, the angel said your request has been heard. Okay, so I would take it to mean this man's been asking and asking and asking and asking and asking, making his request to the gods. And finally, the gods heard him and sent a messenger down to him to deliver the answers to his request. You would think the man would be happy to receive a response. You would think he will be impressed that his request has been heard by the gods, and they have sent an angel to tell him that. And the angel was very precise. I've come. Your request has been answered. This is what's going to happen, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be good. But now I'll pause there, okay, and think about what the man's response was to the angel. He said, Mr. Angel, I'm not so sure of what you just told me. How am I to be sure that what you're telling me is going to happen? I'm an old man and my wife is old. And watch for the response back from the angel. He said to him, and you could sense the disdain in his voice. He said, I am an angel. I stand in front of God, and he sent me to you to tell you these things. So because you have not believed me, you're not going to hear, you're not going to speak until what I've said, which is true, happens. And the man couldn't speak, and the angel left him. That's one story and one encounter. Look at how the angel communicated. Look at the man's response. Okay, right. Remember, I said to you, it's an allegory. So the angel, the same angel, for consistency of messaging, turned up at another woman's house, a woman's house this time. And this time around, the angel was, I can't notice his banter though. He was really like playful with the lady and was like, hey, how are you? How are you doing? I brought you some good news. And the lady she just looked at him. And then he went on to say, do not be afraid. You have been chosen, and we're going to give you a very important task to carry out. We're going to give you all the tools to do it, and we believe that you're going to do a good job. Now, what I want you to observe is the response that the lady gave to the angel, and think about what the other man said. The lady asked the angel, how is this going to happen, considering that, um, I've never been with a man. I'm a virgin. Because remember, the angel told the two people this pretty much the same thing. One said, how am I so sure? I'm old. My wife is old. And then the second person said, okay, how is that going to happen? Because I'm a virgin. Okay. And the angel said, this is how it's going to happen. It's going to be supernatural. It's just going to happen to you. We've already planned it out. You're just going to have to be there to receive it. And the lady's response was basically, okay, I believe you, and so shall it be. If you're following the story, you can see there were two types of responses here. The same angel told the man, this is what you're going to do. This is what's going to happen to you. Your request has been heard. And the man said, not so sure how is that going to happen. On the other hand, the angel said, this was going to happen. You've been chosen. And she said, how is it going to happen? So if you missed that, she did not ask, or she did not say, oh, I'm not sure of what you're telling me. She said, how it's going to happen. And I would like to infer that sometimes we ask questions or we communicate in a way that is not effective. So, from looking at the first encounter, the angel was very effective in his communication. I brought you this news, it's going to happen. And I'm telling you. And the response was, I'm not sure. I have my doubts. And the angel was he was not impressed. He said, listen, I am an angel. I've come from, you know, angel places to tell you this. And I think that's where the man, kind of like missed out. And we can always miss out on these things as well because we don't take time to understand where the message is coming from. It's a common saying, do not shoot the messenger, just accept the message. Or people say, I'm only the messenger, don't shoot me. So we are very, very easy to get a bit naive and, to miss out on the message as opposed to looking at the messenger. So if the messenger was not clear in his message, the right response would be like the lady, can you tell me how it's going to happen? Give me more information. And if you notice the angel's response to these two people, for the lady, because she asked a good question, he gave her a good answer. He told her how it was going to be, how it was all esoteric and all, magical and supernatural. But on the other hand, when the guy said, he didn't ask him how it was going to happen, he said, I'm not sure. So he was creating doubt um, on the messenger instead of accepting the messenger who was bringing the message, which actually is the key thing. And if you look at the responses, though, when you delve deeper into this, the man had been making his request to the gods. So he should have been expecting a response. Is that you? You asking questions that you don't want to hear the answers to? Are you not willing to receive what you're actually asking for? So if you ask a question, what's your motivation? It should be to get an answer or to get some clarification. But instead, he asked, I am not sure. I scratched my head there. It's like you were the one asking for these things, and now you got it, but and you've seen this angel that you were afraid of, but now you're not sure. That doesn't seem very smart. But if you look at the lady, the way she responded and watched the news, she did not ask for what she was getting. It just turned up in her lap because she was chosen. But she was smart, ladies. She said, how is it going to happen? Being that, I'm a virgin, she was very practical. She said, I'm a lady, I'm a virgin, meaning I'm being with a man, so I can have a kid. How's that going to happen? She didn't say, I'm not sure that's going to happen. And that's the distinct um, differentiation I want to bring in terms of the response. So we always have to think about the response that we're giving to particular situations and questions. It's okay to seek clarity if you do not understand, but it's not okay to assume if you don't understand. Number one. Number two, you have to look at the messenger. So the lady, she recognized that, oh shoot, this is an angel, this is supernatural, so I'm just gonna go with it. In the end, she said, let it happen as you said. But for the guy who was praying to the gods, then when the gods now answered him, he was like, I'm not sure. And then what the gods then did was like, okay, I am an angel, but since you don't want to do that, I'm gonna put a hex in you or whatever. And there was unattended consequences. So look, on one hand, he asked, got an answer. His response was piss poor, and he got a bad outcome for himself. The lady, she didn't ask. She asked the right questions. She got the right answers, and she accepted it. And you can extrapolate this into a daily life. I ask a lot of questions because I communicate and talk to people a lot. Asking how, why are good follow-up questions to get to the bottom of things if you're not clear. Um, Debating or making assumptions when you do not understand or you're not clear is probably not a good idea because he will bring you the outcome of this guy. I brought these two allegories to show you how you can emulate the angel and communicate exactly what's going to happen. in a concise form as a messenger on one hand, and on the other hand, you can be like the man. No, don't be like like the lady who asked the right question, how, considering the practical things, and then she got more clarity. And when she did, she accepted the messenger and the message, and she went on with it. But the other guy got a bad outcome. So my message to everyone today listening all across the world on this Memphis J motivational channel. As you can see my eyes, you can see clearly what I'm trying to communicate. It's important to ask the right questions when you're providing information. It's also important to look at who's giving this information. Are they trustworthy? Can I verify the information? Do you have the sources? Can I check for myself and verify? Do I trust the source of information? On what basis do I base my trust on this information? And also, um, if you're not sure, don't try to interject your own opinions or your own assumptions into it. Seek clarity, like the lady. How is it going to happen? Why is it going to happen? Instead of, I'm not sure it's going to happen that way, or could you explain to me, or can you show me? That doesn't quite work. So, using these two examples, I've been able to describe to you how you can communicate effectively and how you can receive the information effectively, and how, most importantly, how you can respond to get the right outcome. Okay. Don't, I think the lady's response was more uh, apt and more correct and what to be followed, and the guy's response were not so. Anyway, you might be interested to know what happened at the end. At the end of the allegory, the man got what he was requesting for, and God took away the curse on him. And the lady also got what was promised her at the appropriate at the time that was said. So they received the communication, and then there was an effective outcome based on what they were told. But what I was showing us today is the process and how we take on board information, and how we understand, and how we really look at the messenger that's bringing us that information. Okay, so I hope this has been useful. We are Memphis J Motivationals. You can reach us in the description box. You can have our contact details. Like, share, and subscribe. We deal with all of the things concerning life, and we try to empower you to give you the skills and knowledge for to have you have a more fulfilling life and a purpose-built life. Thank you for watching, and thank you for joining me. I am your host, Memphis J, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Like, share, and subscribe.